Good morning, everybody. So we got CPI today. We're going to be watching that. IEP came out with earnings. It is what it is. We'll see what happens today. I would imagine shorts are going to cover when they realize it's a non-event, but who knows? Maybe they're going to like that they showed a loss. I have no idea. I am long this. I have puts married to it, but I'm just staying with it. I would expect when there's not fireworks today, people are going to wonder what they're doing short of stock where they have to pay 30% a year to be shorted. I think it's 25% a year in dividends right now. So I always found that kind of interesting. I don't know why you're going to be shorting that name and be paying 25% a year in dividends. That's not including the borrow. So it's an extremely expensive short for those names that are going to stay in there. Now, for us today, I'm going to just flip to this so that you can kind of see how I am viewing this. Let me show you this. So, pardon my cough. Let me try to get rid of that thing real quick. So, what we're saying is this, and I'm going to just share this so that people can see it. Share this tab. So, this is what JP Morgan's predicting. Okay. And the reason I want to use them, Goldman was very similar. Actually, I kind of blended the two. So what's important about this, or what I think's important about this, is the following. You're seeing them really come out and say that they're expecting something greater than 5. Like, that's the one thing I want to point out when I really looked at this. 4% that you're over. I mean, these are outliers, and the market's going to act viciously to anything that's in these ranges, like viciously. Now, if we take a look at this, if you look here, we're looking for 5%. So they think there's a 75 to 80%, let's call it 80% chance that we're higher than 5%. So if we come in lower than 5%, I would expect a significant move in the market. That's where my head is right now, okay? And that's what I think happens. So I would not be looking at doing anything else, but that right now. I mean, that's really where my head is. And I think you have to go from there. Hold on one second. I gotta do a quick trade here. So I bought a bunch of this UPST this morning off a key level, and I just want to take some. But let me get out of the way here. I'm trying to limit my trades before this goes off. So just pay attention to these levels. I think it's extremely, extremely telling. Okay. Now let's get back to charts, and we'll go from there. As far as the names that are out there and what I see happening, personally, I think you're absolutely nuts here to be betting against that we see some kind of rally in the indexes. So we're going to have to see what these numbers are. There's not much more to say, and we'll go from there. If I was a betting person, which I am, I really wish I could get rid of a symbol out of Trading View and just leave this in. And I'm going to go into my short list right here for the day. This is how I have it set up so far, just watching my top names and seeing how they act. Kind of go from there. We'll see how they move. But if I'm to watch this, right, and I want to watch this, I think that you're going to see a massive move here. And I think that the move could be a relief rally that it's over. So I pointed this out in last night's video, and I apologize for getting last night's video out so late. But for me, I did a lot of trading last night, which is, I do after hours trading, but last night I was extremely active because there were so many opportunities. Just a lot of setups. But you look at crude oil, we're down. So I always use this, and I was trying to walk people through this last night. I always use this as a back envelope, how I look at the world and how I look at CPI, because the majority of costs are energy driven. We're about a minute out here, guys. We're looking for 5%. As soon as it comes out, I will announce it. Link in description to get the newsletter. And there will be a fairly in-depth one tonight. So keep that in mind. And I would suggest that you get it. So this is where we're at. We can see what's going on. Let's flip screens here because I can already tell that I'm screwing up. So let's stop screwing up here. Sorry about that, gentlemen. So here we are, okay? And you can see that we're down, right? So we're down in gasoline. We go to crude. I'm just going to walk through this again since I just messed that up. And you can see right here, I mean, it's pretty classic me, right? The day of CPI. So here we are, and we can see these levels. So I'm expecting this to be better than we think it is. That doesn't mean that I'm right. Okay. If I look at JP Morgan, they're expecting it to be worse. Numbers better. Huge move already. Let's see what's happening here. Let's see if we can get let me get that breakdown. Big move to the upside already. 4.9 came in better than expected. Market should go up on this. 4.9. 4.955 core came in line. Nobody cares. 4.9. So that's what you want to see. We broke 5. You're probably going to push on this, guys. You're probably going to push on this. So I think you're going to push here. That's a great number. 4.9. Give me 1 second here. Just doing a couple things. We're pushing here, yep. And I think that's going to probably continue here. So we have to just watch how this goes and kind of go from there. UPST's pushing. Interestingly enough, I would expect more here. I'd expect more of a push than we're seeing. I think this is the beginning, candidly. So we're going to have to watch this and see how it goes. But that's a really good number, guys. Really good number. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start. See what we can find here. All right. So this is your initial reaction. I'm going to tell you that I think it's muted. So that's my opinion. That's a really good number. And that benefits a lot here. So so I think that this could continue to grind. Now you're forming a little flag right here. Watch that 41.54. We're going to want to watch that level. Let's take a look at the NQ. Yeah, I think this is going to be the thing that gets us through. I do. I'm just going to tell you where my head is. So watch this today. 1, 2, 3, and then just watch how we act at that 13,350. But I do feel like this is going to be the thing that lifts us a little bit higher here and pushes the market. So we're going to flip through a couple of these names, TGTX, to see how they're doing. We're down in the IEP. I guess people just don't like that number or whatever. I'm not going to sweat that today. Go through Google. So I'm surprised we're not seeing more in Google. Now, where you are seeing a rally, and just FYI, I am long this, and I bought more of it. So I pointed this out in the Alpha Chasers community this morning. I'll just point it out again so that for the people that are not in the community, so you can see my level. So this 1836 level, I bounced right off of it this morning. So for people that are in this name, just watch that level. You see how we flipped right here, and it's that 15-minute right bar, resistance, support, boom. So you can also use 1914 as a stop, but you're probably going to retest this 21 3/4. So just FYI, I mean, I have a position there now. In regards to the moves, we're not seeing the full court press yet. Okay, we're seeing the digestion of the move. So maybe if we see weakness, we should look at adding. Now, the one thing I do want to say, pardon my cough, the one thing I do want to say here that I think is very important for people to get, PPI is tomorrow, okay? PPI is usually in line with CPI. And the reason for that is because producers pass the cost along to the consumers. So, pardon me. That's why Wing had such a great quarter, right? Wing had that awesome quarter. Okay. Chipotle. Man, this cough from COVID does not want to go away. But I've had enough of it. All right. So that's really where we're at. We're not breaking out. We're just sitting in these levels. We're just sitting there. Wish this was a little more exciting, guys. I'll take it. I'm long. So I'll take it is exactly what I want to say. Watch that UPST. I think that could be a monster today. I really do. It's a really good quarter. I'm not a fan of the company, guys. I'm just telling you. I'm not a fan. Let's clean up all of my nonsense. I'm really not a fan of this company, like at all. I don't like their business model. I don't like anything. The quarter was impressive. So I always have to remain objective. But 26 seems pretty doable. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get there today, but I think 26 seems very realistic. And that's definitely a level that I would be looking at here. And I would be paying attention to. Just it's not on. So, hey, everybody. Give me 1 second, please. So let's get back to this. So the other thing I really want to focus on today is our goal today is to watch these key levels. And I'll get into names and answer questions in a moment. You need to watch these levels. This 4154 is not even a big level, right? Like that's not even a level I'm worried about, right? That's not even a level for me. The level for me is substantially higher than that. So that's definitely something that I'm going to want to watch. So, you know, I want to watch this 4,200. I mean, 4,150, if we can't get through that, well, that's not going to be great. It just means that we're just going to bounce around. 4,200 is really what I wanted to see today. You know, maybe we see it later in the day. Maybe they're not showing their hand yet. That is possible. So we look at this on an hourly. I want to see us break out here, and we're just not breaking out yet. So this might be muted, or this might be something that, you know, kind of gradually goes up as the day goes on. That's where my head is with it. Now, if we take a look here, that's just how I see it. I want to see how these levels play out, but I think we could just continue to grind all day. You know, maybe they don't want to show their hand just yet. Right, that kind of makes sense. So we want to really watch that 13.5. I want to be clear about this. I'm not as concerned about the S&P as I am the NQ. I want the NQ to break out. I want the NQ to lead. Every great rally that we have that is sustainable is through the NQ. Okay, and here's the NASDAQ, so you just kind of see where you're at in combination. I'm going to push this down for a moment. So here's the NASDAQ compared to the S&P, right? So you want the breakout, okay? Here's your breakout, what happened during the pandemic, right? Now, you're trying to break out, you're trying to break the neckline. This is really critical, the levels that we're at. So if we can flip that neckline here, we can see if we go over this on a much shorter term basis since 23, you can see how you've been acting, right? But you got to get through that neckline. So, and the reason I'm not as worried about the S&P is because a huge percentage of the S&P is energy. Well, energy is going to come down. It's just a matter of time, right? It just is. So just keep that in mind, and we'll go from there. And, I think that's really important. Someone's asking me about the dollar. Oh, let's take a look at what the dollar did on this move. Okay, that tells you everything you need to know, guys. So you want to know if you should be buying equities or not? Watch the dollar. Okay. What did the 10-year do? I think the first time we cracked 5 in 2 years, right? Yeah. It's a wrap, guys. So that's a big number coming in at 4.9. So if we go back and look at our cheat sheet, just to put it in perspective, okay, there was a 20% chance. I just want to go through this so that we get it. Okay, this is really important. There was a 20% chance or a 21% chance we were coming in less than 5%. We came in this range, right? So Goldman and JP Morgan, what they told their clients is that you were going to be above 5%, that you had an 80% chance. So that's how they positioned themselves going into the call. That's how institutional traders positioned themselves going into the call, that you were going to be here. And now we're here. Okay. This can grind all day, but we're going to just have to sit there and we're going to have to watch how it plays out, and we're going to have to go from there. All right. I mean, there's not much more than we can do about it. I want to continue to sit here, watch and wait and see how this goes. And then we'll go from there. Now, I am more than open to taking questions, and we can go from there, but keep that in mind, that that's what happened today. This IEP is dropping, but super thin. And maybe they like the fact that, they lost money. I don't know. I just don't know who's going to stay short this thing and be paying 30% a year. But maybe someone's that, naive. It's fine for me. I own it. I plan on buying more if it comes down a little less. I have puts against it, but my puts are like super far out. And you can drive a truck through the spread. So this is what we're seeing, and this is kind of what I think we might see, that kind of grind. See how we're working off the wicks, right? Here's the doji. Doji had to make a decision, right? We all know this, that dojis are decisions, right? We're all aware of that, right? And we can see that right here. So we're all aware that that's important. So that's definitely something we're going to want to watch, that we're already flipping a doji this morning. And we'll go from there. Now, in regards to other names, I'm open to questions now. I think it's pretty clear what's going to happen today, guys. I think you're pretty much going to grind up. So NVIDIA just looks like an absolute monster here, guys. Absolute monster. I'd expect us to have one heck of a day. I would expect us to have a heck of a day the way you're set up here. 1, 2, 3 down. People that are in the Alpha Chasers community will recognize this pattern from the educational class, right? And then we flipped sideways, pull back, and now you want to watch this doji. 289.73. Over that, all bets are off, guys. And we should rally pretty substantially on that. Okay. So we're going to really want to pay attention to that and go from there. And watch the NASDAQ and watch that level. Here it comes. Here it comes. Houston, we have liftoff. Boom. So there's your one. There's your flag, right? Here's your flag right here. Boom. Okay. So now we want to see if it holds. So there it is. Remember, okay, 25% was or 21%. See ya. So just remember this chart, guys, and why this is happening. This is how they positioned right here, right? 80%, 21% chance you're going to come in at 4.9 or lower. Okay. It's really important that you get that. Boom. Well, today will be fun, won't it? Let's go here to NVIDIA. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. So I just want to go through that. Let me go back to this for a second. Sorry about that, guys. I'm doing some trading while we're talking. For those that are going to ask NVIDIA, I've been in and out of NVIDIA. I think that's going to move. I think the other section you have to start looking at too and start asking yourself what you want to do here. I think you have to start taking a hard look at names like in the software space. I would really start paying attention to that. I would really start paying attention to those kinds of names. I think that they can do exceptional here. I really do. I think that they could continue to push, and they would be names that I would be focused on. That's for sure. So just FYI, that's kind of where my head is right now. So go from there. But that's really where I'm at. So let's just get to it. But overall, I'd be looking at some of the software names. I think there's some things that are going on there. If I was in NQ, or I wouldn't be in the NASDAQ, you need to watch this level now. So what we want now, right, what we want more than anything is we want a retest of this level right here. I wish they had a cooler arrow on TradingView. But you want a retest of that level. That's what you want to see that it's going to hold. I'm not sure we're going to get a retest. I'm not sure that that's what's going to happen here. So we might just push. We might just push. To those that are in Airbnb that are asking me for levels, look, this was a dumpster fire of a quarter, right? I just want to go through this. Let me just walk through these levels so that you get it. And then I'll take questions. And we'll move this up. But 13.5, that's what you want to watch today. And you see where you are right here. So you're trying to break out and you're unable to. Okay. So you're going to want to watch that and see how that goes. It's definitely something that's important. But I would be watching these levels. 112.58, 114.32. This 120 is from before, but they went through that like Swiss cheese. And then you have to watch the low of the day. And if you take out the low, all bets are off, guys. This was a really bad quarter. I can't stress that enough. Substantially worse than I think people think it is, to be honest. I really do. So as far as thoughts on IEP, I'm being asked about that. And let me just go through IEP. It is what it is. They came in line. I mean, it's sitting right at support. Like if I wanted to be a buyer, this is a place where I might look at buying. So we just want to watch this area right here and see how it goes, and we'll go from there. Now we're starting to break out on ES, right? ES, welcome to the party. We're through 50, so that's good. But what you really want to do is you really want to come in here and you just want to watch, right? You want to get through that. I really want to get through 4,200. I don't know that we're going to. The other thing that we really want to watch today, we're going to want to watch XLY. So Goldman came out with some comments about it. I would look at the specialty retailers like ON, Nike, Starbucks. I'd be looking at those guys a little bit more than Amazon, right? And I know Amazon looks pretty decent here, but just my opinion, I'd be looking at those names more. I think those names make a little more sense, and we'll go from there. But let's start taking some questions. I'm sure I have tons and tons of questions. So let's get to it. What's up, John? Yeah, you got to get through 4,200. EXAS and uranium. So let's go through some of these names because I know a lot of people are watching them. So here's EXAS. Yeah, I mean, I think you're looking at that and going, okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that we need to, pay attention to and see how it goes. I don't know that I'm going to go crazy here with it. Let's see if I'm missing something on the hourly and we're breaking out a little bit. Yeah, on the earnings, I mean, I don't really want to chase anything. That was a really good quarter, but let's go take a look at the weekly and see what we're really dealing with here. is that something that I need to rush into? And, John, what I would do is I might take a step back and just throw in something like volume by price, right? And just kind of see where we're at. Now, I'm going back about a year. Let's go back pandemic. Yeah. So here's what's interesting about this, right? So here's your downward trajectory. Here's your undercut of the pandemic level, right? I'm assuming you're looking long term. You seem like someone that usually looks a little longer term. Now look, okay. And then you start getting into it and going, okay, well, we're above point of control. You're forming a flag and you're breaking out of a weekly flag, right? Because we know where we're at right now, right? We're above this, right? So yeah, I mean, that does have potential, and that may be something you want to watch today. That can continue. I mean, the indexes aren't going to take them down, right? I mean, they're just going to push. So I don't see any reason to think that that's going to, come in. I mean, the indexes to me look like they're just going to absolutely rip and spend the day ripping as people talk about, why this shouldn't be happening. But we got through, and congratulations on going through your first bear market. That it's, in my opinion, it's over. I think it's pretty clear that the bottom's in at this point. I mean, I don't know who's going to ring a bell, but I think we're there. I think it's safe to say that. DVA, I know some people are watching this. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really crazy about it. I'm kind of like floating up here. Is that something I really want to pay attention to? I mean, here's my issue with these kinds of bars, right? I like when I see exactly what's supposed to happen, right? So I come here and I take a look at this, right? And I go here, I look at that and go, okay, well, we should flip, and we're not, right? So do I really want to be that guy and getting involved there? And this is going to be candid. The answer is no. I have no interest in being that guy. None, right? No interest. So, hold on. So semis, I think, are just going to continue to push. Software, I'd be watching software as well today. You might want to start looking at the cloud names. After ZS, you're going to start seeing people start pouring money. They're going to start looking into the next thing. Market's not backing off, guys. It's just grinding higher. I mean, that's what we see so far. So we're going to have to see how that goes and kind of go from there. Now, if we watch this, which I'm going to watch this, I want to see how this plays out today, but that's exactly what we're looking for out of the market. Exactly. Let me get to some more questions so that we're there. I don't know why we keep rejecting there. I hate uranium, John. I'm not going to lie. URM. So I don't know what that is. URN? I don't have that. Yeah, I don't have that. URN for some reason. Google keeps rejecting. Google's disappointing me. Maybe he's not the guy to carry the company through AI. Maybe they're going to bring somebody else in. But he's certainly not making me feel warm and fuzzy. I'll tell you that right now. I have to watch these, see how this goes. Looking at some of these levels, just trying to see how this is going to play out today. A lot going on out there right now. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of disappointing. I mean, they're supposed to have this big conference today, and I'm not getting any move. ELF pulled back. My friend, ELF pulled back on the EL news, Estee Lauder news. I would not be going near that just yet. I am watching that. And I'm annoyed because I wanted to buy right here. And then I said, because I that reversal right there. See how you undercut and then reversed, right? You're forming that pattern. And I wanted to buy it there and I didn't. Just being candid, not everything I do works, and not everything that I don't catch everything, but I really like that particular pattern. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll give it a shot. And I'm like, oh, I'll see how we do tomorrow. And then we gap up. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll wait another day and see if it gap fills, and then I'll get in. And then it's 30 points higher. I like this name a lot. I don't know that I'm going to do that in earnings. This is why it dropped, DH. Okay. So Estee Lauder came out and just did not do well. And this is actually cracking right here, if you can see that, right? That's actually a new low, new closing low on earnings. So actually, this is something I'm probably going to want to watch today as a short. Make sure I put that in today, but I actually want to add that to my alpha chasers list. So you see how you're breaking right here, coming over? That's kind of interesting to me, actually. I'm going to throw something in here for a minute. Just look at a 9. Yeah. There's something there. Pardon me. Yeah, I would definitely be watching that. You can't get above the 5. When you got to the 3, you rejected it. So this is the 8, the 5, and the 3 on that chart. So just FYI, I'll put this one back on so as not to confuse people. PayPal's a disaster. Avoid it. I think eventually it catches. You're not there yet. You have to wait. So I'll give you a great example, right? You're just going to have to wait. So here's something that I'm watching. I'm waiting for this. I'd like this to get to that 24.5, but this is something that I'm watching, and I put this out. Hold on one second. Let me show you this. I'm going to have to change that, upgrade that. I thought this was really interesting. See how you're bouncing and you're curling up now, and you're right on a support level, and you've filled the gap. I think that's what you're looking for, PayPal. I think that's what you need out of your PayPal position, right? That's where my head is with it. So I don't know how that goes or what happens there, but I'm not buying that. Like, I mean, that's like nasty, man. That's like, I haven't been able to say this in a long time. That's like Janet Jackson nasty. Like, that's really something. And, you know, you have your lower high. You know, I had guys that went long this. I'm not really sure why. Yesterday in the room and got slaughtered. And wasn't one guy. I don't know what they were trying to do. Not my kind of trade. What you want to expect now, and I want to be real clear about this because I've got limited time today for obvious reasons. You're going to want to watch semis very, very closely today, okay? Because they're probably going to break out. Okay, I'm just going to say that they're probably going to break out on this. So you're probably going to want to watch them today and see how they act. All right. I would expect them to have a really good day. Okay. I would just expect them to have like a really good day. And there's a couple things I'm seeing already that lead me to believe that I'm right. And it's not just because I'm, you know, super smart. But if I look at this action, let's get rid of this. Oh, where's the remove button? Come on, man. Work with me, not against me. Look at that pattern. You're going to short that. You're going to bet against that. You might work this off. Yeah, I mean, 92 is kind of excessive on an RSI. But, I mean, what's trading exactly like the NASDAQ right now? What's actually breaking out when the NASDAQ's stopping, right? They're the names you want to go and watch today. What names are pushing even though the NASDAQ is not pushing? See how this kind of came in, right? But look at NVIDIA, right? You just hit a high. Now, maybe that goes. Look at AMD. We just hit a high. Did the NASDAQ hit a high? No. I've got this wonky red bar. They're trying to convince me we're going to go down, but not today, Satan. So just keep that in mind. So I wouldn't go near it. Twilio, I love the company. I think it's a great company. I don't know how you buy that, man. I don't know how you go near it. I really don't. I think they have some massive issues. Massive issues. And you just came up and you worked off your RSI, which is really bad for it. So good morning, Mel. What's up, brother? I'm always on the wrong screen. I mean, it's pretty much classic me, right? I mean, you got to laugh. Oh, I'm only at 8:30. Yeah, I think that UPST could be something. I don't know that I'm in there long term today. I don't know that that's my kind of trade. We're totally done raising rates, dude. If they don't get it at this point, the dude, if people don't get it at this point, they don't understand what's going on, God help them. I mean, the one thing that I think that, the one thing about the people that started trading in 20 was they all thought that they were smarter than they were. And they all thought that this was easier because they were locked at home, right? So you develop that false sense of belief. The issue with it, candidly, guys, is people didn't think that fundamentals or macro analysis mattered at all, right? They just didn't think it mattered. They're like, no, I'm good. I'll just do technicals because everything worked. Well, listen, the reason everything worked is because the Fed injected $1.7 trillion into the market, right? So before people start telling you that they're up 500% in 20 and 21 and they made millions, their trading style works when the Fed injects trillions of dollars of capital into the market. You're in a very different environment where you need to understand the nuances and the pieces. I say that with hopefully it comes across with kindness. Hold on one second. Sari's on one of my systems. I apologize, guys. Clearly Siri's listening to everything. Every once in a while, I'll just start talking to me on one of either the iPad or iPad mini. I literally have like every device from Apple. I don't know if that's the one I'd buy. What about this one? Right? Maybe I'd be buying that, right? I still can't figure out for the life of me why we're not watching the long end rally. Like we're just okay, all right, that's something, but why are they not rallying? And this scares the living heck out of me. I just want to tell you this, so I'm watching this and this just scares the living heck out of me. So what's going on here? Go through this chart and find another move where we were up 20% in a day. I think we're going to lose another bag. I'm just going to say this, I'm short wall right here. Just FYI, I'm just being candid. I'm short this. I don't believe that everything's rosy here. I just don't. I'm just going to be honest. I don't believe it. And I think that this could turn and get ugly. But, we'll see. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I don't think that this was just a quote mistake. And that Financial Times picked up an article that they are trying to sell the company and figure something out. And I don't think this chart's telling you that it's, quote, a mistake. So let's go from there. Keep answering questions. And I'm going to have to jump soon, guys, for obvious reasons. So you're working it off. Okay, so you just watch when you break the 70. That's probably when you're going to come in a little bit right there. Let me get through the things I need to talk about. Tesla, I'll go there. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate you telling people about the channel. That's my big thing. I really want people to share the channel. I really do. I do think, let me answer a couple questions while I have people. So I'm just going to answer the ones that I think are pertinent. I think the SOX is going to rip. I'm just going to give you my opinion on it. It doesn't mean it's going to all be today. Doesn't mean it's all going to be one big move, right? Understand that. This is going to take some time to work through the system. I was to look at some of the names that I'm being asked about, like ASML. Yeah, I really watched this very, very closely. This would be one that would be of significant interest to someone like myself today. Significant, interest. And so I would watch, I would really watch the software names today. If I could tell you one spot that I would really focus on, expanded software holdings. would be something that I would be looking for. Okay. Start looking at these top 10 holdings, start going through this. These names have huge high margins. Long duration trades, which are called long duration trades, they're what's going to work in this kind of environment. So, think ZS, that kind of thing. Let's do Tesla because I'm going to get asked about that. Yeah, I have calls on NVIDIA, but let me just be candid. I have calls, but I bought calls the day before yesterday. So I'm probably up or flat on all my calls. I'm not killing it this morning on those calls, just being blunt. But I went out, I think a couple weeks. So I'm in no interest. I'll look at them when it's at 300. Like we could really push here, guys. IEP, I just don't think that people are going to stay short. I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to stay short and pay 30% a year plus the borrow. Anybody know what the borrow is? I don't know what the borrow is. I know that I know that if it was me, I'm not paying that borrow, right? I haven't listened to the conference call yet. We're going to have to see what he does on the conference call. I don't even know what time it is, probably 9 or something. I mean, I can't wait to hear those questions in that conference call. That should be hysterical. I think we're back to buying breakouts if the index holds above 13.5. It's a really good question, Shane. And I'm going to say, yeah, I think we're there. I think we're going to continue to push. As far as Google, I went over it, Fernando. It's disappointing the move. Net could go. Snow could go. I'm going to just do this lightning round. Airbnb. Yeah, I mean, I'm in at 33 and change on it, and I've puts against it. It is what it is. I have calls too that I had to double in, and they'll probably be, back to break even, or maybe I'll lose money on them. I'll see what happens later in the day with it. I'm not really sweating the initial move on IEP. It could always get worse, guys. Maybe it takes out a new low. Maybe they see something and they want to short the heck out of it. You never know. You have to play accordingly. Let's look at V and go from there, and then I'm going to have to jump. I'll go through these. I don't know. You're buying V here. I don't know. Do I really want to buy that there? I'm not really feeling that. I'm really not. So I'd probably pass on that. I'm not really feeling that, Cam. Meta should hold 230. URA is what we're looking for. Microsoft looks great. I got to jump, guys. I don't have time to answer all these. I'm going to leave you with this, okay? I'm going to leave you with this. So NVIDIA very clearly is going to be your leader today. I mean, I can't be any clearer about that. Here's a 15-minute chart of it. There's a 3-bar pattern. I mean, it's breaking out as we're talking, okay? NQ, I had to get through 1350. I really wish I could do this and go from there. So that was our level, and I'm just going to show you this so you get it. Okay, sets up, flag, breaks out. I would not be surprised to see a retest of this level. That would not be surprising to me at all to see a retest of that level. Okay, but to me, this just looks like an absolute monster. Like you're going to have like a 2% kind of day. That's how I view the world right now. We could always sell down, and I'm not saying that I would be out there buying until we really push, but I would be really paying attention to that. But I'm not going to have time to get through all this. We'll go from there. Was Icon the basis? I think it was that time. I think it was based off another guy. I'll answer it later. I'll tell you who I think it is. I got to go. Everybody have a great day. Trade to win.